In this lecture, we are going to learn how to automatically reformat our code. This is very useful because when you are working in a team, you don't want each of the persons to have its own code style, but you want to have a single code style across your code base. The point is that when you are typing, maybe you don't follow it and you don't want to correct it by hand. In order to set which kind of rules you want, you have to go to File, Settings, Editor, Code Style, and in here you can have a different set of rules depending on the language you are writing your software in. Here you can have a scheme, so you can have different sets of rules saved and switch between them. In addition to that, if you click the gears, you can export your settings so you can hand it out to the rest of your team, and you can import the rules from a scheme. It could be an IntelliJ IDEA file or an Eclipse file. What you can do is you can go to Google and search for the code style guidelines that Google uses and import it in here. Right now that we have seen how to tweak the rules, we are going to perform our reformat. So in order to do that, just go to Code, Reformat Code. As you can see in here, you can hit also Ctrl-Alt-L, but it could happen that the system you are working in captures this shortcut. It happens to me, and instead of reformat my code, it locks my screen. So as you can see, it has been reformatted. For example, spaces have been added between parameters, the definition of this method has changed the line, and these spaces in here have disappeared. As you can see, I have inserted these two comments in here. Well, what's the point in it? The point is that before the format, this region in here was much more readable. So we can format things by hand and add these comments in here in order to prevent the formatter to change them. We are going to undo the operation, and in order to enable this behavior, because it's not enabled by default, we have to go to File, Settings, click Code Style in here, and enable this option. Here you have the comments you have to use in order to disable the formatter in this region. And if we apply right now the reformat again, you can see that this region is not changed. If we undo the operation, there is an additional thing interesting in here, and it is that you can reformat just a selection. What you have to do is select a piece of code and hit Code, Reformat, and it only changes that selection. In addition to that, you can reformat whatever file type you want where you have rules defined. For example, this JSON file in here. Pay attention that the extension is .json, and if I hit Code Reformat, it gets formatted.